Guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to add an aftermarket steering wheel to your Logitech G920. Now before I start this tutorial, I just want to say that I know that there may not be as much of an audience for this at the minute with the new Logitech wheel coming out, but I kind of figured that I may as well do it now because people may be starting to sell G920s for cheap as well. Therefore people may now end up buying them used and then will kind of want to do this. Because I know some people are kind of afraid, I guess, to open up their wheels if it's brand new, whereas if it was used or second hand then they may not be as afraid to do so. So to change wheel to an aftermarket wheel on the Logitech G920, you will need, of course, your Logitech G920 aftermarket wheel of your choosing. Also need one of these wheel adapters. Now this one here is 3D printed, but you do get ones from places such as 3D Wraps where they have like little nuts that you have to insert here, so just remember that you may have to do that on yours. I don't on this one because it's 3D printed like I said. You will also need the 3 screws that will come with your wheel. You will also need a different assortment of tools. I would recommend you get yourself just like a little packet of these hex keys, just with different sizes, and some screwdriver bits. Now what I've done is I have like this little small one. You do kind of need the smaller shafted ones just because of the space that Logitech gives you to remove these screws pretty much. And I also have the screwdriver itself, which you can attach the bits to. You do get them in like little small like electronic tools kits. Alright, so to start off, what you want to do is you want to remove these 6 screws. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just remove them with your Allen key. Once you've got these 6 screws removed, you want to keep these safe because you need to reuse these. Alright, so what you want to do next is flip your wheel upside down so your wheel is actually on the desk. Alright, so next off what you need to do is you have 5 screws total to take off, so you need to remove the one that's in here and the one that is also in there, and then if you rotate your wheel you'll see another 2 here, so you've got one there and then one there, and then you'll also have one at the bottom of the wheel. So if you rotate your wheel all the way around, which needs to go this way, in my case you've got one there, so yeah, pretty much just remove them. Now at this point you want to kind of grab your wheel together because it may fall apart, but you just pretty much want to flip it back to where it'll be sitting flat like so. So once that's done, you should have a little cap on yours, but mine's fell off just because it wasn't fully pushed in right, because they're actually pushed in and once you pull them out they kind of fall out a lot easier. So next off what you want to do, you're going to bring this a little bit closer so you can see. You want to pull the whole front casing off, but don't pull out fully because there is a little white clip here that you need to remove. Now you can use tweezers, but you can just use your fingers, just pull it out like that and you should be finished. Now you want to also set your wheel flat as well, facing like that, because you don't want to touch any of the motherboards or anything like that. So next off you have a total of 6 small little silver screws. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, you can't really see in the camera there, but it's behind this little paddle bit here. You've got another one here, another one there, and another one there. So pretty much just remove them 6 screws. Once you've removed all of them screws, you want to remove your motherboard. Now you don't want to be touching like any of this part, this part, so you want to lift it kind of from its sides or its edges. But yeah, that should just lift off nice and easily. Now you're going to have to lift up this a little bit as well, and it's only, you have to give it a little bit of a wiggle for it to pop off. Now you want to put this to the side on like something wooden or plastic, just so you don't risk shorting or anything. Now next thing, what you will have to do is you will have a little silver screw here or a silver screw there. Now I don't have them because I've done this before and I've lost the 2 screws, so pretty much just remove them 2 screws. Now next off, you have 4 more little black screws which hold on the LSB, RSB and the 2 menu buttons, which are here. There's also one here, then there's one here, and then there's another one over here on this side. Now once you've removed these screws, just be aware that the front buttons will be lying on your desk, so when you lift it up they'll be there, just in case you don't realise that they're actually there. So yeah, pretty much all you need to do now is just lift off this plastic case. Now like I said, there'll be 2 screws, one there and one there, that'll be holding this onto the actual wheel itself. So pretty much you can just lift your wheel, and pretty much, well, your wheel, I would keep it anyway, but you know, if you don't want to keep it you can throw it away or whatever. So next off, what you're going to want to do is just reattach the front buttons that came off of this. Now make sure you don't flip this because all the other buttons will fall off. They're not too hard to put back on, but just be aware of that. So what I usually do is look for the RSB and the LSB buttons first. Now that's the RSB button, so for me that's going to be on this side, so you're going to want to reattach that. So pretty much just lift it up and just set the plastic bit on top of it again, like so, and you'll eventually feel a click on, and then once that's clicked on, you're going to want to get one of your little small black screws that you just took off before and just reinstall it, and you want to pretty much repeat that for all 4 of your buttons. Alright, so once that's done, you're going to want to bring back in your motherboard, and that should pretty much just sit on top of that nice and easy. Now if you look, you can see how it's got like this little plastic bit here, and then there's another one on the top. That'll kind of help you orientate it a bit better. So pretty much that should just clip back on, like so, and then you'll probably feel it click into place for the most part. Now you need to kind of line it up with the buttons as well, so you've got to bear that in mind. But if you look at where you previously removed the screws from before, you should be able to get it from there. So like, should be something like this, to be honest. Now it may feel like it doesn't actually fit, but it will once you get the screws on. It's just not setting correct. But yeah, once you've it sat correct, you want to go back to your little small silver screws, and you want to reinstall all 7 of them again, same places they came from pretty much. Now once you've done with that, just flip it over and just make sure all your buttons are working. So that works, that works, that works, that works, Xbox One works. A, B and XY work. A doesn't because it's the wrong way around, but yeah, pretty much just you need to make sure your buttons are in because this is what's going to happen. And then my D-pad and all is working. I'm just going to fix my A button and then I'll be back 1 sec. So yeah, there you have it. I'm just going to double check everything works, which it seems to do. Yeah, it does. So next off, what we're going to do is we're going to reattach this pretty much to your wheelbase. So you want to grab your wheelbase. So pretty much you're going to try and reattach this little cable into this little white header. Now there's a specific way it goes. So if you see those two like little indentations, they want to be facing towards you. So if you see now how they slip in like so, and you just give it a good push. You can use a screwdriver or something to give it a good push, but yeah, I've always used my fingers. As long as your fingers are clean, you'll be fine. So you just want to slide your case back on. You just want to be cautious too of this cable. Mine is actually kind of snagged here a little bit, but pretty much you just want that to sit on as flush as you possibly can get it. Now, if it's not sitting flush, it's just because your cable isn't sitting right, so you need to try and just fiddle around with it until you get it sit right. So I'm going to bring it, so just mess around with it until you get it to sit right. So yeah, mine seems to be sat right now. So right now you can actually install your hub. So you obviously grab your hub, and you also want these screws that we take off the front. So what I usually do is I start off at the top. So just straighten out your wheel edge, make things a little bit easier, and then pretty much your hub should actually, if you look at the back of your hub, it's going to have like these little grooves here. So if you use them to kind of get it to sit flush on the wheel itself, that's what I do. Now I usually just put in one of these screws and just tighten down the, actually I put in two. What I'll do is I'll put in the first one, but don't tighten it fully down. You only want it just so it is gripping the thread. So once that grips the thread, which mine for some reason doesn't seem to be doing too well, but because I'm using it, it's because I was using the wrong Allen key. But pretty much, yeah, once you get that to grip the thread right, like so, that's got grip on that thread. You also want to do the bottom one. So just make sure it's aligned up properly and then install the second screw. Now this is just to stop this to fall out, stop the front of your wheel falling off when you turn it around again. So pretty much you want to flip your wheel around like slow, and what you're going to do is you're going to remove the screws that was in here. So obviously you can't see that, so let me just get a better angle for these. So unfortunately I can't get a better angle, but pretty much you're just installing them back in where they came from. So in behind where the indicator, or not the indicator, sorry, the flappy paddle is on this side and on the other side. So yeah, once that is done, just kind of try and pull out the plastic cover, and if it doesn't move, then you're pretty much sorted. And then just double check all your buttons still work, which they all still do for me. Now, depending on what wheel you have, you may have to add in a wheel adapter, but luckily for me I don't have to do that. So yeah, next up you just want to continue on adding in these last 4 black screws, which are the same ones you just put in earlier on your wheel hub. The next step, what you want to do is actually install the wheel itself. So what I usually do is I will install a screw at the top, so just because it makes it a little bit easier. So just you can kind of hand tighten it just to get it on there for now. I'm going to put a little bit of tightening on it with the screwdriver, so just screw that in, and then do the bottom one, then do the bottom one the next. So make sure you can actually get the hole as well for it, because otherwise it'll just make things a little bit more awkward. So yeah, just screw that in, and then pretty much just screw in the rest of the screws. So I'm just going to put a little bit more on that. Now just know, once you put a wheel on it, it will tend to fall forward, so you will have to hold it while you're screwing in all these screws. But yeah, just screw in the rest of the screws. Alright, now there you have it. Just another thing too, just give your wheel a turn, just make sure it doesn't feel like it's going to listen. If you hear rattling, that's just the bottom of the wheelbase with the thing where it clamps on like a desk or something. But yeah, mine's is pretty secure. Now another thing I want to mention as well, I would recommend you buy like one of the steel billet made wheel hubs, just because they're slightly stronger and they will last a little bit longer. And if you are buying a 3D printed one, I would recommend the one off the 3D wrap, because they do have the little nuts in the back, and it's just a lot better, because sometimes the threads in a 3D print don't last as long as you would like them to. But yeah, that's it for the tutorial. If there's something here that you didn't really understand, you know, feel free to send me a comment or whatever, or if you want to join my Discord, ask me in there. I can let you know there. But I'm pretty sure I've got everything covered here. I happy wanted to do this for pretty much as I got the wheel. Now I did obviously change the wheel, but I never recorded the video because I didn't really know what I was doing at the time. Yeah, I kind of figured, why not make a tutorial now before all the newer Logitech wheels come out and all, and people start modifying them. But yeah, leave a like on the video, leave a comment, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Bye!